What's up, YouTube? My name is Jesse, and I'm a proud Catholic and an avid outdoorsman. And this is a full tour of my camper truck setup build that I have done. Yeah, I just got done being on the road for the last 5 weeks and thought that this would be a perfect time to give you all a full tour of my camping setup and how I fine-tuned it over the past few weeks. And who knows, I might not even post this. This is also just a video for me to remember how I packed it, and what I found out over the last 5 weeks, and just tuning the system, and found it to work really well for me over the last several weeks. Yeah, for the last 5 weeks, I have been on the road, and this trip included everything from a 4-day backpacking trip in Utah to a formal wedding. And so everything in this truck I have packed anywhere from all my camping gear, some rafting gear, climbing gear, fishing gear, as well as a lot of business casual stuff and my formal suit, all packed into this truck because of this last trip. So yeah, this video just kind of a full tour of the truck. Also going to point out some things that I would like to improve, things that didn't work very well, things that I might change. But overall, just like how I have fine-tuned it over the last few weeks. Yeah, things I've learned over the last few weeks just before getting started is just like always be organizing, constantly organizing my stuff. I haven't done anything to the truck to organize it for this video. Like, this is just how it needs to be in order to live and thrive on the road, as well as just like you need to find a spot for literally everything, or else you're just gonna get overwhelmed with stuff. So yeah, those are just a few quick tips, but we'll dive on in. First things first, we'll start with the truck. So here's my truck, and this has been my home for the last 5 weeks. It is a 2017 Chevy Silverado. It has a 5.3 liter V8 gas engine in it. As you can tell, it is a 4-door, but the cab is a little bit shorter than your standard 4-door. This allows me to have a full 6.5-foot bed, and truly this is the shortest bed that I would recommend anybody to try and do a camper setup in. It just makes sleeping arrangements any harder if you go any shorter, and I'm a pretty short guy, and I still wouldn't want anything shorter than a 6.5-foot bed. I have a Lear topper on it, the one that goes a little bit higher than your cab. I would also recommend this being the shortest topper you would go, just because of headroom solely. I do have the ability to put crossbars on there and do like a bike rack and other things up on top of the topper. I didn't use that for this trip. There were some times I would have liked to have the crossbars just to hang some things, also like setting up tarps and things like that, but still decided not to go for this trip. I'll start by showing you all what I got going on in the cab, and then we'll move into the back. So we'll just start here within the driver's seat, and the first thing you'll notice is there's not a whole lot going on here. Did this super intentionally just to have my driving seat super comfortable and not cluttered with stuff. I did about 6,000 miles over the last 5 weeks, so wanted a super comfortable driving spot. So all I'd have here is things that I would need on the road. So water bottles, a place to plug in a phone. I'd sometimes throw snacks over in the passenger seat there. The one exception is I would sometimes throw my backpack on the floor over there, and that would have my backpack that I'd use every day that had Bibles, books, as well as my computer, because I would also be able to charge my computer here with a built-in inverter that I have in my truck, because I had to do some work on the road. There's also one leg that I had a passenger with me, so just wanted to be able to also allow him to have a comfortable seat for the long drive. So yeah, that's really all that's going on up here in the front, just trying to keep it clean and comfortable. I did decide to install a little Garmin dash cam here that just automatically turns on whenever I start the truck. It's just a nice thing to have, just an extra security piece that I might recommend those having. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on up here. Much of the same on the passenger side. There's one thing that I didn't show that I would like to, that's easier from passenger seat. I did custom install Midland MXT 275. That's just hardwired installed, just a nice two-way radio for convoying, hunting, overlanding, really anything, just to be able to communicate with others. And I custom installed that here into my upper left compartment there. So that's pretty much all that's going on in the passenger side. Now moving into the back of the cab, it's a different story. We'll start over here on the driver's side. But yeah, filled with storage opportunities. So on this side, we got all of my hanging clothes hung up behind my seat, and all I did was just run a strap between the two handles there. One thing that I might change is there are bars that they sell that goes across this. That would just be nice, because sometimes the strap would sag, and then these would slide into the middle, and it's really nice to have them behind the driver's seat. Why I did them on this side and not the other is just solely for blind spots. So then I also got my belts over here and the doors. I got an extra sleeping bag here on the floor, which did not need on this trip at all. It was way too hot in Moab in North Dakota. But then if we slide the clothes over underneath the seat, we have things that'll always live in the truck, not just when I'm camping, but got an extra blanket, some tools, some camp fuel, minimal first aid kit, survival blanket, ice scraper and brush, and then an axe underneath there. And then also over here, I got a spot for an extra water bottle that's not there right now, but then my laundry detergent. And yeah, the rest I'll show from the other side, from underneath. And then behind the seat here, we got a spot for fishing net and then my ball caps. Now moving on to the passenger side of the back of the cab, we got here, and you'll notice that I decided to keep this seat down just in case I did want a third person here. I could easily move this stuff into the back and have another third person here. But down here, I just keep my boots. So I got my wading boots, and then I got my gum boots, and those are really all I need for a summer trip. I do have my big winter boots because I left them at my old roommate's house and picked them up along the way. It's also a spot to keep my shampoo and stuff like that. Got just some random books in the back here. And then moving into the middle here, I got a book bag here with some more books, notebooks, travel Bible, things like that. One thing is I did have this built up a little bit higher to where the book bags were about this high, but this center console flips up to be a third bench seat on the front, and if there's a bunch of stuff here, it can't do that. So that's really all there. And then here in the middle, I got my fishing bag, I got a dry box, and then I got some paper towels, some oil, things like that. And then under the seat here, these again things that always live in the truck. This is just a WeatherTech under the seat storage solution here, but I got my hammock here. I got some more Clorox wipes, got an avalanche shovel, which of course isn't very important in the summertime, but you definitely want that in the wintertime. Some recovery strap that I had to use to pull some people out on this trip. And then I got some live bags here, which are just bags that you can go number 2 in while you're in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, that's pretty much sums up the cab. We'll move on to the back now. All right, the moment you've all been waiting for, we actually move into the living area of the camper setup. So this is what I got set up here. Of course, the bed over on the passenger side, and then a storage and countertop over here on the driver's side. And then underneath the bed, just have lots of storage here. Maybe one day we might do a full-size drawer that comes out, but I actually kind of liked having all the storage underneath, and we'll go through what I got going on under here. But we'll start here just outside of the truck, and then we'll move on inside. So in this countertop here, we got a door here that opens up to shoe storage. And then for all of my doors on this, I just did little magnetic things there, just keep it from rattling, opening, things shifting while driving. But in here we can store up to my hiking boots, 2 pairs of shoes, some flip-flops down the side. Just really nice to have the shoes out of the way there. And then also in the wintertime, this whole piece can slide out, and then a long one will slide down the whole length, and you can get a couple pairs of skis in there. You do, of course, lose your storage down there, which we'll get into. And then in here, got a nice big drawer here that just kind of holds a bunch of random stuff: duct tape, hats, gloves, bug spray, straps, sunscreen. You have some betadine in here to purify water. That's one thing I would say about this setup is I didn't have any large water storage, and the next trip I think I would definitely want to incorporate that somewhere. It would just make it a lot easier. And then moving over here on the bed, stuff is accessible from outside here. We just have a little camp chair here, and then we have just another bin here. I guess this would be the first bin, but just random camping stuff. I got my sleeping bag, some backpacking stove, toilet paper, games, what have you, just easy accessible stuff. And then when you get up underneath here, you got my trekking poles there, another box of Clorox wipes, picnic blanket, I believe that's my tent, and then this bag I'll show you all from the inside. And then also got my bottle opener right there. So that's my bed here. All right, now moving on inside here, I'll show you my actual sleeping setup, and then I'll show you the countertop storage, and then I'll show you what I actually got stored up underneath the bed here. So on the bed here, I just got a Paco pad for the base, And then the actual mattress is this 4-inch tri-fold memory foam mattress. The main reason why I keep it folded up during the day and when I'm not actually sleeping is because of headroom. When I'm just sitting on the Paco pad, I could sit straight up here without hitting my head. I can't really do that as comfortably with the tri-fold mattress that folds out. So here, I've got my sleeping bag, my pillow, and then this tri-fold mattress just slides out, and then that is what I sleep on. I do highly recommend the tri-fold so that it can do that, but then I can also fold it up like this and just be a spot to like lounge and read and things like that. And then of course got my pillow and sleeping bag. I'm gonna stop the video, reorganize, and show you something else. Just a few more comments about the actual top of the bed. Like I said, I had the Paco pad here as a base. It's a really nice, just comfortable spot to sit. Nice base for the mattress topper. Super durable, super well-rounded. Of course, use these things on the river. Also high durable, so I had the dog up here the other day and it was great. So yeah, highly recommend that. You also notice in the back there in the case, it would also be a good time to talk about security. Anybody who's ever done any truck camping knows that there's no way to lock the topper from the inside. So I'll have a 3-phase security system where I'll run a strap from the actual awning to like try and get it to where people can't open it, and then I'll also sleep with my keys right next to me, so if someone were to come up or a bear to come up, I could hit the panic button. Hopefully that would scare them away. And then of course there in the case is the last ditch effort for my own personal security. That has stayed in the case for the last 5 weeks and hasn't come out, and that's the way I like it. One other comment is if I did this again, I would actually switch the bed and the countertop to have the bed on the left side here, for 2 main reasons. One, this is where my light switch is right here. And then second, just for driving, it is really nice to be able to look over your back shoulder and use all of these windows. You don't necessarily use these windows as far as blind spot, so it would be nice to be able to pack things higher up on the bed and still be able to get your blind spot. So that's why I would switch the bed and the countertop if I did this again. But yeah, we'll just dive on into what I got going on over here in the countertop. All right, we'll just dive right on in and show you all what I got going on here in the countertop slash dresser slash storage slash whatever you want to call it. From the top, to access our big bays, we just have these 2 big doors that open up, and I will show you that here in a sec. And then underneath here, where the wheel well kind of is, we have these 2 little drawers here. This first drawer has just become all things. I got a headlamp, and then most of it's just like my charging cables. I got phone charger, AirPods, Fitbit charger, what have you, that just all kind of go in here. Because then overnight I have a 12-volt charger here that's hooked up to the truck battery that I can charge a phone and whatnot overnight and not worry about power. It's also where I've connected my custom lights that I've added via Velcro that are just a little bit brighter than what came on with the Lear topper. In the other drawer, I just have all of my toiletries in here. So deodorant, toothpaste, what have you in that one. And then over here, I have a little door that fits 2 of these totes perfectly. The first tote has just become mask storage because of, COVID. And then the other one has just kind of become my library that's like up in there. So other books and stuff that I might want while on the road. Now diving into the top of my dresser or countertop. This is really where I kept all of my clothes for living. So there's 2 big open doors here. And in here, there's these, I think they're like mountain wear cubes that one full fit in here perfectly. So I just have 3 in here, pants, shorts, shirts. One thing, I did definitely overpack my clothes on this trip. I definitely brought more than I needed to. So probably the next trip be a little bit more intentional of how much clothes I actually need to bring. But then behind here, I'll actually pull one of these out. Behind here, I got a spot where my waders fit, obviously when they're dry, and then also my fishing rod case goes in there. And then over here behind them, I have just spots for towels. And then this void space, which doesn't look like a void space right now, is my dirty laundry basket. And that's one thing I'd absolutely make sure that you have if you're living on the road, is a place to put your dirty clothes, especially if you're doing it long term. Because yeah, you just don't want, you want a spot to be able to keep that stuff organized. So yeah, that's pretty much the full of the countertop. It has been really nice to just be able to fold down, be able to keep things on here. I haven't tried cooking on here because the weather's been good, but you probably could do it if you well ventilated or prepped food in here. But I have done computer work on here. It works out super nicely. And again, I can sit on my bed with the mattress folded up like this and be able to sit straight up, which is really nice. So yeah, we'll dive in and show you all what I got going underneath the bed. All right, so kind of the last component of this build is just all the storage that goes underneath the bed. And this is truly where I kept most of my gear. So we'll just kind of dive right in here. So first off is this Patagonia bag that I just stored most of like my warm clothes and things like that. And again, I probably overpacked, barely ever dove into this bag, but it's better to be prepared than not have it. And then continuing to go under here, you kind of already saw some of this. That was actually my sleeping pad that I saw, my backpacking sleeping pad. And then I got my tent in here as well. And then, yeah, picnic blanket. And then for the rest, a lot of just totes. And totes are super helpful to be able to organize. So we'll pull this one out first and kind of show you what we're going in here. So this first tote, I believe, yeah, so this is just a bunch of extra first aid stuff. Be able to build like custom first aid kits out of this based on what you were doing trip wise, but this is just kind of a surplus in first aid stuff. And then this tote back here, my climbing gear tote. So in here, just got a lot of my climbing stuff that I needed. And then working our way back here, we have dry bag here, which has just a lot of rafting dry stuff in there. And then I believe there's another tote in there. There is. And then this last tote is just a lot of GoPro stuff. So I didn't really use much on this trip, but I thought it would be nice to have. And then in here is just 3 backpacks that are kind of stacked up nicely in the back there. Yeah, this is the best way I found to use this storage area. Totes are really nice to keep things organized. Yeah, you can definitely fit some more stuff in here, but this is what I got to work. So yeah, that's basically underneath the bed. All right, the one last component of this system that I have here is this Rubbermaid box. When I'm driving and things like that, it just slides into the aisleway here between the bed and the cabinet, and then when I get to camp, it comes out because it has a lot of my cooking stuff and things like that, which I'll show you here in a second. And then at night, to keep my sleeping area free and stuff, I just slide this onto the back seat in the cab. And also just got some food in there, so just extra protection from bears and stuff. I'll show you what going on in here. So this has kind of become my kitchen area, but also has some other stuff. So I found it was a good spot to put my PFD, extra ball cap there, my climbing helmet, and then you'll see that I got a Coleman 2-burner propane stove, which works really well. You just set it up on the tailgate. You got a nice kitchen. I also have a whole socket set here, which I thought was really good to have on a long road trip. And it turns out it was really good. And then I just got some pots, some pans. I got some knives in there somewhere, just some more dry food stuff. So yeah, that's just kind of the last component of this whole system. So there we have it. There is a full tour of my home over the last 5 weeks. Yeah, this is what I have deemed to be the best for me. I think it is one of the better camping setups that I have seen out of the back of a truck. I did a lot of research when I was building this and had fine-tuned this over the last several weeks, and do think it is one of the better ones out there. But everyone, yeah, the biggest thing is just custom build it to you. Build it to what you want and what you desire. This is just one idea of many. Yeah, if you have any questions, I'd love to also hear what you guys all have to think about it. Just drop it in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. God bless.